I just spent the last 2 days in New Orleans with the highest performing tax firms in the United States. Combined, the 9 firms generated over $28 million last year, combined 141 employees, and between 9 different people. Top firm was doing 9.5 million. The minimum firm was doing 1.2 million dollars. And I want to share with you the notes that I took and the big idea and 4 patterns that I actually recognized throughout this whole entire process and what you can learn from this. I'm going to actually read the actual problems that they came in and tell me if this sounds familiar to you. Everything still runs through me. Everyone still has my phone number. We need the revenue and systems so we can scale up. I have fragmented systems. I talk too much to people one on one. Need to get my time back. I don't want to do the work anymore. I just don't want to do fulfillment anymore. I have struggle scaling my firm, or I can't let go because I am scared that if I give it away, that they're going to steal my business. And I need to get out of operations. Does that sound familiar? Well, the truth is it doesn't matter if you're at 0 or at million or at 10 million in this case, the problems stay the same. Now, I'm going to share with you the 4 patterns that we recognize between everybody that came into the room and what you can take away from this, and some of the biggest notes that I took and the biggest aha moments to help you kind of get through these things that as I saw the aha moments going through these firms and how they were experiencing this aha moments, it was great to see, but also it's really impactful for you to know some of the key things that you need to learn and implement today so that your firm can continue to grow and scale. One of the numbers, and I'm going to share this with you, is very, very critical for how to evaluate your firm, because we also had a firm that came in and sells um, tax firms. So they literally are a firm where they go and sell a tax firm on your behalf. And they told us the metrics by which they look through so they know if a firm is good or bad, what it could sell at. And I'll kind of give you a glimpse of what that looked like as well. Okay, so I'm going to chunk up these 4 problems into really 4 different categories so you can kind of see this. Number one is the everyone has my phone number, or I would like to call it the expert trap. Now, in this scenario, we had a couple of firms where they were the expert. The person has their phone number, or they call them when a problem was happening, and everything ran through them. Literally, every part of the business was wrapped up into them. Like everything rolled up to them, everything happened in accordance to them. And one of the patterns that I recognize through this process right here is that these in this stage right here, where you're the main head honcho and you're the CEO and you're touting it from the rooftops, I'm the CEO, all that stuff. I noticed that it was on the lower end, meaning you're doing about 800. Well, in this case, it was about 1.2 to 1.8 million dollars. That's where I saw kind of like the teeter totter of these patterns show up. And that happens because you really haven't hired someone that can take that load off of you, meaning like an actual operator that can actually do this work to help you get out of that thing. Okay. To some degree, it's a control thing because you're afraid. And I get it. I've been through that as well. But really, at this trap right here, at this stage, the biggest problem is that you're contemplating, should I give up that amazing profit margin that I have to go hire someone that could potentially help me, but I'm not entirely sure. But this particular person is not cheap. They are making, or they want, $150,000 to $250,000 salary, and I barely make more than $500,000. So if I take out of my salary to give to them, what's the likelihood of my business growing? I get it, 100%. That's the first pattern I recognized. The second pattern I recognized was the time trap. So this is where it's kind of the same thing in a different degree. So this is where the expert now gets bottled up into one particular part of the business, and it's the one-on-one trap. Now, in this case, this is where the entrepreneur here, in this case, it was a bigger firm, so anywhere from $2 to $5 million, these different bands, if you will, of revenue. I started to recognize that these 2 people got stuck in a certain particular part. They grew their business. They have more team members. Now they're not the bottleneck of the business, but they're a bottleneck of one particular department. In this case, fulfillment. So we help people grow tax planning firms. The challenge with both of these firms is that they were selling one-on-one and still delivering for clients as well. So in this case, you almost have to choose a lane. That was one of the biggest things. And I'll give you a management framework that has helped serve me tremendously. And it's called do, document, deploy, and then develop. So what I mean by that is do the work, document the work that you're doing, deploy it to a team member, and then develop said team member. Now I'm going to talk about this in a little bit further on in the patterns, because it was one thing that I would tell you that truly is going to change the game for all these firms, and it has nothing to do with what you might be thinking, right? It is hiring better talent, but there's a certain part of it that is an attraction mechanism for higher talent. So that's the one-on-one trap, if you will, right? And the solution to that was really, well, that person's, or these firms here that are doing about 2 million to 5 million, they really need to stop doing one-on-one things and start doing one-to-many. Now, I know you're probably seeing out there a lot of people saying, do a webinar, right? And we'll do it for you for nothing, right? I get it. But there's a time and place for that. In this time and this place, this is technically where it starts to become something you need to do, not something it's nice to have. It's something that's going to need to be had for this business, so that the business owner can start to pull themselves out of that constraint. And so I actually saw it faced on both sides. So one being the person that was at $4.3 million was really, really great at sales. Now, she loves sales, so candidly, she wanted to stay there. The other one was really, really good at fulfillment. So candidly, she wanted to stay there as well. The challenge is both of them hated where they were at. And so this is kind of a second part of this, is that if you stay in a role too long, you tend to resent that role. Now, candidly, the one that was in the sales actually hated the fulfillment. She was like, I don't want to do the fulfillment. I'd rather sell. It's so much more fun. But to be fair, like, and I'm just giving you kind of the insights of that. Okay. Number 3 is big team, no output. So on the other hand, I know I mentioned in the beginning, there was a part of the portion there where you have a lot of profit, right? And you have a very small team, and therefore you're all the weight of the world is sitting on you. Now, the other way I saw it on the other side was a huge team, very little output, meaning these particular firms, like there was 141 employees represented here, okay, between the 9 firms. And so one of the biggest challenges was, well, how do I know what people are doing? How do I make people do the job better? How do I make sure that these people are doing great? Well, the truth is candidly, I had to tell them the solution is you overhired and you probably overcompensated as well, which that's a costly mistake, because now you either have to ramp up revenue like crazy, all while simultaneously helping these people succeed, or you're going to probably have to let them go in the next 3 to 6 months, and it might be hurtful to the culture. That's the real truth of this. Okay. And I see this happen a lot at a certain revenue. It happens at different stages, but typically it's going past $1 million. Like if you're going from your first 500,000 to $1 million, and you're like, I don't want to do anything and I'll just hire everybody, right? It's like we live on a continuum, right? Like entrepreneurs live on a continuum. So like on one end, we're like, hire nobody, get a bunch of profit. The other end is like, hire everybody, do no work, take a little bit of profit. And I get it. The truth is, the solution is somewhere in the middle. And that middle, and I'll allude to it even further a little bit, but the truth is right here is that they almost had to consolidate systems so that they could have a leaner, more efficient team in this scenario. Unfortunately, in their future, it's going to be pain, because they are going to lose some of these team members. And it's not because these team members are bad or that they can't attract good talent. It's that they didn't build the infrastructure for said talent to come in and win. So if I had to choose the business to work into, I would likely choose the business that has a very small team with a high profit margin, because it's an easy, simple fix. Rather than having a huge team with very low margins, it becomes much more challenging, because now you have to get everyone up to efficiency, and getting humans to become efficient, very hard. If you haven't tried it, please don't try. Okay. And then number 4 is the vision gap. This I started to see at a higher firms, like the bigger firms, like the big firms that we had. It's the vision gap. meaning your team is struggling to see the vision. So this starts to happen right around $3 to $5 million plus. That's where vision, mission, and values start to become like weird, not so much of this like vague thing out here in the sky, pie in the sky thing, but it becomes like this tangible asset that everyone could look through and say, this is what we stand for. And it's harder to attract talent at that stage because there's a lot of little people, like a lot of non people that are, they don't see the vision because candidly, as an entrepreneur in this stage, you're just running and gunning and hoping, wishing, praying that everyone just sees the vision and buys in. You don't have a leadership team that's coming alongside you to support you and actually propel this vision forward. And so at this stage in that revenue band, if you will, going past 3 to 5 million, it's a lot more about vision, mission, and values and casting that vision to your leadership team so that they can deploy that same leadership levels. Okay. And so I know I told you those are the four things that I noticed and I recognized through these patterns of seeing these people. And I'm going to share with you the one metric that when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is how I know how efficient, where someone's at in their revenue, and also very close to where their profit's going to look like at the end of the year. So I know their sanity level as well, to be fair. The one number that I looked at, and I did this because I looked at a company called Ernst & Young, EY for short, and that number was revenue per employee. And I've seen it moved around a lot in business, and now I see bigger operators talking that term, like revenue per employee. What I recognized was that most of these firms operated at less than $200,000 revenue per employee. Truthfully, that's where they felt compression with pricing. They felt compression with, honestly, when I saw that number, when I see those numbers, their biggest verbal things that they started to say out loud was, I have struggled hiring good people. I have struggled, with pricing. I have struggled with like getting out of my own way. It was a lot of this stuff right here that was at that stage. Then I saw the alternative, which was people above 200,000 revenue per employee. And they were like, I am overwhelmed. I can't do all these things. I'm like, it's a more internal thing because at this level, it's controlling of profit, which means you do not get other people to do the thing on your behalf because you're not paying them. And it might feel like you're paying them fair wage, but if you want truly good talent, you can't pay them fair wage. You have to pay them above fair wage so they can do above market stuff, to be fair. Okay. And so when I look at that, that was the one, I guess, key metric that kind of stood out. But I will tell you, after day one, when we started talking, almost inevitably, the thing that could solve all their problems was getting new, bigger, better customers. They want a better team, they need a bigger customer because they need more profit per customer. They want better customers that don't, have their phone number, they need bigger, more, better customers, right? And so inevitably, the solution to most of these people, at least all the way up into $3 million, was more, better customers. That's what it was. And at the higher level, it was more, better employees, right? When I start going past 3 to 5 million to 10 million, is more, better employees. But I will tell you, the first one helps attract the second. Okay. If you can get more, better customers that pay you high, it gives you the margin and it attracts really high level talent because high level talent want to be working in an area where it's really, really easy to win. You don't want to make it hard for your team to win. You want to make it easy for your team to win. The easier it is for someone to win, the more likely they are to win. And if they're more likely to win, they're more likely to stay. And so if you're someone right now that is growing your firm and you're like, hey, I want to go to that next level, we just did this event for $1 million only tax firms, right? But if you're someone right now that is doing 200,000 plus a year and you want to go to that next stage, or you want to hit that part where you want more, better customers, or you want more, better, bigger talent, then I'd invite you to book a call with one of us, one of our team members, so that way we can actually share with you what the frameworks that we showed them, how we scaled from 0 to 8 figures a year within 36 months, and how we did it strategically without burning myself out, David, our leadership team, without burning out all of us. We were able to accomplish pretty amazing feat. If you look at the Eurospiral statistics, statistically speaking, we would be in the 0.1% of all businesses in the United States. And at the pace that we did it at, it's pretty astronomical. I think we were growing at 216% year over year, which is great. But I want you to experience the same thing if you like to grow and scale without growing and scaling your time, meaning you don't have to spend more time doing these things and getting bigger, better customers and getting better team members to help support you on that journey. Then I'd love to chat with you and I'd love to see if it's a fit so we can help you out. And if it is, we'll invite you out to one of our events, show you exactly how this works and how it could work for your company.